สวัสดีค่ะ and welcome back to Ed Brian Site here on GBN Station. You're now with me, Konkano Shitpan. Today, I will be sharing you 3 beautiful footages of the Eye Drop Ordination Program, the program where international men from all around the world gather to learn and practice the teachings of the Lord Buddha. Let's get started.
Coming from a business background, being an entrepreneur and being a CEO of a company, my last 2 years has been an interesting journey. And it's because I had been ordained as a monk a year and a half ago that led me to discover things that my intellectual mind wouldn't have given me those answers.
In their search for something more, 10 men from 6 different countries across the globe meet for the first time at the Chiang Mai International Airport. They each have taken this rare opportunity to disconnect from the hectic pace of their daily lives and reconnect with their inner world. The beautiful natural surroundings and friendly smiles of the IDOP staff welcome them as they arrive at the training site. They immediately begin to start the simplification process by depositing all of their belongings and receiving the basic necessities that will support them on their transformative journey for the next 2 weeks. During their orientation, Venerable Narong Chai reminds them that ordination is only 3 days away, and there is quite a bit of chanting to memorize. However, after meeting their teaching monk and mentor monks, they realize that they will be guided every step of the way by a community of highly trained monks who genuinely support and understand them.
My name is Ramiro Verissimo, and I come from Portugal. I'm a professor, I'm a medical doctor and PhD, and I do teach medical students. I usually travel around the world, although I have been in many temples, in the highest temple on earth, in the Everest, but I was somehow always an outsider. And only now I felt that I could dive in. I felt it was within my reach to dive in this lifestyle of the monk, of someone who devotes himself to the Dharma.
As they practice the procedures for their upcoming ceremony, the Dhammadayatas are required to sit and kneel in positions that can be very uncomfortable for them. In addition, they must memorize and recite a number of chants in Pali, the language spoken by the Buddha in ancient India. This preparation is both physically and mentally demanding, especially since this program condenses the typical 2-week preparation time down into 3 days. However, with their strong desire of joining the monastic community in mind, and with the motivation and direction of their dedicated mentor monks, they persevere and overcome all the obstacles standing between them and donning the saffron robes. On the day before their ordination, the Dhammadayatas further their journey of simplicity and letting go of worldly attachments by participating in the hair clipping ceremony. With a lotus leaf in hand, they assume their positions in front of the congregation. Family members and local villagers show their support for these men's decision to renounce the world in order to cultivate themselves by clipping a few strands of hair and giving the Dhammadayatas well wishes on their upcoming monastic journey. The Dhammadayatas feel a mix of emotions as large chunks of their hair fall down around them and the cool wind blows gently against their freshly shaven heads. The past few days have been so busy that there has not been much time to process their experience. But now it hits them. This is really happening. I am about to become a Buddhist monk. Today is the day. The long hours the Dhammadayattas have spent preparing over the past 3 days has led them up to this point. It is time for these 10 men to become ordained as Buddhist monks. To start off their ceremony, the Dhammadayattas lead a procession of family and friends around the chapel 3 times while chanting to honor the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, also known as the Triple Gem. Their heartbeats quicken as they scale the front steps and enter the chapel. They start to recite the first part of their ordination chanting as a group in order to pay homage to the ordination grounds. The next part of the ceremony requires the Dhammadayattas to ask forgiveness from their parents and relatives so that they may purify themselves of past transgressions. Asking forgiveness from and bowing to your family is not common practice in many cultures, so this procedure can be very humbling and emotional. Although some Dhammadayattas' relatives were not able to make it, they keep their family in mind during this process so that the inner purification can still take place. After receiving their robes and alms bowls from their families, the Dhammadayattas prepare to undergo Bappacha, or lower ordination. In this process, the Dhammadayattas receive the 10 precepts, which marks the closing of their lay life and a transition into novice monkhood. The 10 precepts are moral codes of conduct that further restrict and consequently purify one's speech and behavior, thus providing a good foundation for purification of the mind. After performing the necessary chanting, each Dhammadayata allows the preceptor to place the robes over his head, thus finalizing his transition into novice monkhood. They then exit the chapel to meet up with the IDOP staff, who quickly help them change and re-enter the chapel, neatly clad in their saffron robes. Although they may look like fully ordained Buddhist monks, they have yet to undergo Upasampata, or higher ordination, where they will earn the remaining 217 precepts. They proceed to break up into smaller groups of 3 or 2 based off of their age, and take turns on stage chanting the sacred words they have been practicing so diligently. Nerves are at an all-time high as they perform their chanting as a group, doing their best to synchronize their voices and avoid mistakes. Despite their emotions and the short amount of time they had to practice, each group of Dhammadayattas successfully recites their chanting together, thus marking the final step in their transformation. A strong feeling of pride, relief, and joy lightens their hearts as they triumphantly exit the chapel as fully ordained Buddhist monks. The morning after their ceremony, the Dhammadayattas wake up early to prepare for a very important monastic duty that is often one of the most deeply impactful experiences of monk life: walking alms round. The jagged stones create a sharp pain in the bottoms of their feet as they walk barefoot through poorly paved streets. However, this is a price they proudly pay in order to honor this ancient tradition. It is apparent from the state of their clothes and houses that the local villagers don't have much to give. Yet often their whole family wakes up early in the morning to cook and offer the best food that they have. By walking alms round, the monks not only provide the lay people with a sacred blessing for health, wealth, and happiness, they offer them the opportunity to instill the virtue of generosity in their children and extend the life of Buddhism by supporting the Sangha. And in turn, their faith provides us with the inspiration to practice ourselves to the best of our abilities.
You have to memorize the blessing. I was really focusing on that blessing. I wanted to do everything perfect, and then we walked. I really had like pain in my feet, but they say like, well, that's something you allow yourself to like suffer, but you get almost your life for it back because it's your only source of food. So I thought, yeah, that seems fair. So you come up and you see the people already smiling when you're in a line walking up to them. And then you open your bowl, they put the food in, and I'm almost like, they're really giving me their food. Like, they cooked for this because it was early, and it was still warm. I felt that, and that feeling that I was so happy and grateful for what they did. They do something good for you, so you want to do something good for them, and to give something back to them. Like, it makes you want to be a better monk, follow the precepts, and strict to be a true monk, or keeping up Buddhism by learning Dhamma or something. It's a good way of reminding what you're doing here.
After deeply experiencing the faith and support of the lay people, the Dhammadayatas have found extra motivation to diligently perform the rest of their monastic duties. The most powerful way for them to repay the lay people is by purifying their minds through meditation. With the help of experienced meditation tutor monks, they will soon be guided to experience profound inner peace and a deeper understanding of themselves and what it means to be a true monk. Without the guidance of experienced meditators who know how to teach the proper method in a simple and understandable way, one can spend years practicing meditation while making little to no progress. However, such quality guidance is very difficult to find. That is why the Dhammadayatas feel so fortunate to have full access to highly trained meditation tutor monks in such an intimate setting for 10 straight days. Before they are qualified to teach others, the meditation tutors must undergo at least 3 years of intensive training, where they strictly focus on developing their own practice. This means that they have struggled with and overcome each and every obstacle that the Dhammadayatas are facing in their meditation. In addition, they have been extensively trained on how to guide others in the most comprehensive way possible. From large lecture settings to small group settings, the Dhammadayatas have learned the theory, practiced it consistently, and received personalized advice that has helped them overcome their obstacles, whether that is sleepiness, wandering mind, or tension. Before this program, some of the Dhammadayatas had been meditating for years, while others have only meditated a few times. However, regardless of their prior experience, each Dhammadayata has quickly progressed in his meditation and has had some deep inner experiences. During this program, they have also had plenty of opportunities to listen to the teachings of the Buddha, which can be very philosophically enriching and beneficial to one's life. However, it is likely that they will only be able to retain a small percentage of this information. But the one thing that they will never forget is the unprecedented feeling of their mind entering the most still, serene, and peaceful state it has ever experienced. These are the moments that transcend words and truly bring the teachings of the Buddha to life.
So we've been here for maybe about 5 days. and I have felt a very different feeling of happiness than before. I've been trying to learn meditation from a lot of good masters, but to have someone who meditates full-time like the Gongroi group, it's almost an instant fix to every small problem I encounter every day. I get to observe the role model in action, plus that frequency in every day to make the adjustment is actually to me the major difference. In a normal world, we will meet maybe a meditation monk for once a month, once every few weeks. To make adjustment that way is very hard. I like the informal tutoring method, a bit of a structured learning, then followed by a small breakup group to be able to share the experiences and make fine adjustments. It had actually made a lot of progress in my meditation.
Oh, it's a very unique program for me. Almost every day in the evening you can talk about your meditation experiences, and it's a real personal interaction with your tutor, and it's not like in a big group with just one tutor and he will walk away after the meditation session and then goodbye, see you tomorrow. No, if you have questions you can always come to them, and I think the personal aspect of it is very good. When I meditated before, I was like, when you have pain you just sit through the pain and you wait till the hour is gone. In the end you're just getting frustrated because the pain is not going away if you don't move. What they tell you, like being comfortable is like the foundation of your meditation. That's one of the most important lessons I've learned, because after that my meditation starts to really improve.
You can feel it in the softness of their smiles, in the peaceful tone of their voices, that their minds have become more still and purified over the course of their monastic journeys. They have gained so much from this training, but perhaps the most valuable gift that will continue to benefit their lives is understanding the proper method to connect with the true source of peace and happiness found within themselves. Regardless of what they do after this program, whether that's going back to the business world, taking care of sick patients, being a father, a husband, a son, or continuing their monkhood day by day, understanding how to live their life with inner peace will allow them to be positive agents of change within their families, communities, societies, and the world at large.
These beautiful videos are from Luang Pinik YouTube channel. Please make sure to like and subscribe. It's time for us to say goodbye, and please make sure to check out all episodes of our At Brian Side News program on our website, gbnus.com. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful week. สวัสดีค่ะ